So guys, if you're still playing 2B, 2 mid and 1 guy A on Anubis, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Luckily, you have 2 options now. You can watch this video and learn how to play mid correctly, or you can close the video and keep yelling at your loser teammates on B or A side and tell everyone how you couldn't carry these monkeys. If you decided to stay, congrats guys. After this video, you will be better than almost everyone you play with on this map. So the first thing we have to understand is what this setup is actually designed for. The 1-2-2 setup is designed to stop the T's from taking mid very early in the round. How do they do that? Well, they just smoke mid from spawn, and then they have someone running here, doing a molly like this, doing a flash like this, and then even if they smoked here, they will just run through it and then try to take the space very quickly. Obviously, there are some counters to it as CT, so you could nade this open and then peek, yeah, obviously a better nade, and then have one of your teammates sitting back here or here and then just dropping a flash like so. Obviously, what the fuck am I doing? Flashing like so, and then he can peek and try to catch anyone that's playing between the smokes. So this will be smoked, this will be smoked, here will be mollied, the guy here is waiting, nading open the smoke, waiting for the flash, and then just peeking this and trying to kill anyone that's playing in front of the smoke here. But if the CTs are not doing that, it's actually pretty easy for the T's to take control of this area very early in the round, and this is super dangerous for you as a CT, because now if you get smoked off here, the CTs or the T's have a lot of space to manipulate the rotations and put a lot of pressure onto the A guys without actually having to commit towards the A side, because they have just so much time left in the round. So this is what this setup is actually designed for. But here's the thing now, maybe you can guess where I'm going with this. If the T's don't do that, this setup is completely useless to your teammates. Let me tell you why. The reason why this is super useless is if you're playing 2 mid, you're not relieving any pressure from the B or the A side. The T's can just run water and try to get close towards the connector area with smokes and stuff. And the A guy, if he has utility, he can block the A side early, maybe then smoke here and then fall back. Maybe early in the round he can get away with staying like here, because sometimes if T's are retaking this, they flash like so, which is not that bad, like to get anyone off of an angle like this. But if a CT is playing close here, obviously he will not get blinded, and sometimes T's that are clearing A main are pretty sloppy when it comes to clearing this right side corner here. So maybe early on in the half he can get away with that, but if he had killed them 1 or 2 times here, that's no longer available, so then he's forced to play more passively onto the A side. And if the A guy is now playing defensively and you're playing defensively as well, you're just sitting with 3 guys pretty useless on the map without relieving any pressure on the B side. Of course, at some point, usually one of the mid guys will rotate towards the B side, but most of the time this happens way too late when the teammates on B have already contact, and then it's very likely that the T's will just smoke this off, and when you're rotating towards the B side, you're just staring at the smoke, and then you have pretty much forced to go out and try to get some hero kills, but most likely the round is already lost. So what you can do instead now is a setup with 2A, 1 mid and 2B. If you play this way, the A guy is a lot more free to be aggressive on A main, because he has a teammate with him that can make the fights way easier, and in case something goes wrong, he can trade with him. So they can be more aggressive towards this area here. This would be optimal if someone from the spawn could smoke off this, because then when you're coming out of main, you don't have to be careful about someone like sitting on stairs and then re-peeking here. So if this is smoked off, there's a lot more space for the guys to on A to clear this area. And now these 2 guys here can play with either one connector player, or they're just blocking B early, maybe within smoke. Maybe they don't smoke B main to make the T's scared of an AWP holding B main, and then they just fight connector and you fight water together with the A guys. And now you can gain a lot of control over this area here if the T's decide to just mindlessly play in this area here or in this area. So now you're actually creating a lot of pressure for the T's, and you're creating opportunities for you as a CT to get good entry kills. Now if you're playing solo mid in the beginning of the round and the T's decide to push mid, you can just simply give it up. You can tell one of the teammates from A to just move towards camera, and then you can play a position like this and wait for him to arrive, and then you can fight together. Or you could even go towards here and then let the two guys take control over A main. So if the T's decide to take this and your teammates on A main go a little bit aggressive, they can kill anyone that's playing in front of A, and then splitting the A side is no longer really an option for the T's because they lost their player in front of A, and now they're kind of forced to play B. The most important thing that you have to understand when playing mid on Anubis, especially in packs that are not like super high elo, is that it is fine to lose control over this area here. This is not the end of the world if you have strong positions otherwhere on the map. Because 90% of the times when the T's are actually in mid, what they will do is smoke off left side and come A, or create pressure here and drop water and go back to B. But most of the times they want to go A. And defending an A split is actually pretty simple if you know some little tricks that I can show you right now. So what you can do, if you save your utility, you can just jiggle here, and if the T's now want to come camera, you can just drop a molly and play like this. And if you have still a smoke left, you can smoke this, or if one of the two A guys will have one smoke left, they can just smoke camera. And now the T's are slowed down so much, and probably they have smoked themselves off like so. So now they're kind of trapped and they're forced to either wait out the smokes or go down and go connector. And this is something that you can see from a million miles away. And then you can just rotate towards the B side. This is not that hard. And what you can also do is you can just come back towards the temple area and ask your two A players to come back towards camera. And even if you get smoked off here, you can just throw flashes like this, and then you just fight with three guys together and try to kill anyone that's playing in this position. And most T's will not be ready to three guys refighting for the mid control. If you have any of these four spawns here, you can make a really good play by smoking off the stairs area, then sending three guys towards the B side. One can either smoke B main, or as we talked earlier, just don't smoke it and make the T's think that might be an Opus holding this. And then they can just flash out here. I would recommend double flashing. So first guy flashes out here, then second guy behind him flashes out here. And then you just peek here and try to fight this area. Then you send two guys on A. One is just quickly smoking mid. And then you have two guys pushing A. The first guy can just throw a flash like this. And the second guy behind him can just do a flash like this that you can actually peek with. And then you fight for the water control. Stairs will be smoked. And now you have a pretty strong setup. And if the T's decide to rush mid in this round, this is not a huge problem, because you will have one guy on the B side. Maybe he can play in temple early in the round, and then he can just quickly fall back here and take over the mid area. And if you didn't spot anyone in A main, you can also have one guy coming back here, and then he can take over mid with this player together. The last thing you have to understand is if the T's apply a lot of pressure towards the con area and you can't get away with being aggressive on A main, because this is usually a counter to playing aggressively towards con, because these players here are very in the open if you push A main. But if you can't do that because the T's are good at blocking it, maybe mollying, having someone that is pretty passive here, then you can't do that. Then what you can do is have just one guy on A, one guy mid, and you can start off every of these rounds with just three guys on B, which will make your B holds so much stronger, and you're leaving a lot of pressure from your B guys by just sending one more player towards the B side, and you just understanding that you don't have to fight for this mid control super hard. Just try to block them, make them think that there is someone in mid, slow them a little bit down so they don't rush into mid completely, and then when they are pretty active, you can just fall back, tell your teammate what's happening, and then you can just go towards the A side, fall back, and then you can see what happens. If they decide to go mid, let one of the B players come back to mid, and then as we said earlier, you can then fight together with two guys, or even have the second A player come towards camera as well. Maybe he can leave a smoke here, And then obviously you want to sneak towards the camera area, because if you're just running, everyone in front of A will just hear that and maybe go through the smoke. But if you just sneak, they don't know if someone is still close main or not. And then you can just fight mid with 3 guys together and try to kill anyone that's in this area here. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you learned something. I think this is super important and so many people don't understand this. They fight for mid control. They literally making their lives from the A player and the B player a nightmare, and then later on the round they just complain why no one is holding the sides. So don't be like these guys. Improve your understanding on the map, be a good teammate, and then you will have much more success on this map as well. If you did like the video guys, feel free to subscribe or like the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.